Okay. Hotel. I'm just gonna jump in. I'm gonna try to be as brief as possible. I just want to put some stuff out there for people to think about. Okay. I know y'all saw the title of this one. I'm gonna be talking about Haitian migrants, Black Americans, propaganda, and Masonry. I'm talking about Haitian migrants, Black Americans, propaganda, and Masonry. I see my boy AOI World Suave Beezy in the building. Hotel. What's up, famo? What's up, famo? Good looking out. Good looking out. Good to hear from you. I have been checking you out. I have been following you. I have been staying abreast of what's going on, bro. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Good to see you in the chat, my brother. For real, for real. Hotel. Um, I want y'all to think about something, family. I want y'all to think about something. We're gonna get right into it, okay? Now, I was gonna take some time to try and make this presentation a lot better, but I decided to just go ahead, make a quick video, put this information out there to put something on y'all mind. All right. I wanted to put something on y'all mind. Now, the image on your screen, okay, the image on your screen has been going all over the world recently. Okay, it's been going all over the world recently. And I'm of the opinion, and what I want to point out to you guys, that this is propaganda, from my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm going to tell you what this situation looks like from the perspective of Matthew Daniels, aka Ampu, aka the Chosen Few, aka the Real Bookworm. And I'm going to show you why I'm saying this, okay? I'm going to show you why I'm saying that I believe images like this and the story and the narrative that they are pushing about this the situation at the border with the Haitian immigrants is all propaganda. Okay, I'm going to show you guys why I believe that. I want y'all to think about something, man. I want y'all to think about something. You're going to always notice in the news media, they always try to elicit an emotional response out of Black Americans to get us to jump out in front of an issue. Now, let me say this first. If an individual wants to assist Haitian migrants or immigrants from anywhere to legally and lawfully come into the country to better their condition, I'm not getting in the way of anybody being helped. Okay, I don't want anybody to misinterpret what I'm saying as in I do not believe that Haitian migrants or immigrants of any other ethnic background shouldn't be helped. What I'm talking about is how the news media always tries to manipulate a story to make Black Americans lead the charge and lead the fight. They're trying to control our energy, manipulating our emotional responses. It's a reason why an image like this is going around the world and being pushed on Black Americans is because they want you to think about racism. It's because they want you to think about slavery. They want you to think about George Floyd. They want you to think about Ahmaud Arbery. They want you to think about Emmett Till. They want you to think about police reform. They want you to think about people being gunned down. This is what they want you to think about. Now, what you always have to do whenever you realize that the news media, who we knows always uses propaganda to manipulate people, whenever you see the news media intentionally trying to elicit that type of response out of you, even though you may feel in your heart that that response of anger is valid, you have to sit back and ask yourself, wait a minute, why are you trying to put the key in my back? Why are you trying to make me associate this immigration issue with slavery? Why are you talking about people being whipped? Why are you talking about racism? I saw a few news stories about this, and they started weaving Black Lives Matter into it. Why are they trying to get Black Americans to lead the fight on this? You have to ask yourself that question, because I'm going to tell you something. These news media outlets do not care about Haitians. They don't care about immigrants. They don't care about migrants. Even when you have people who are in supposed positions of power who are coming out and speaking out against what they're seeing happening with those Haitians, please get it in your mind. They don't care about the Haitians. What they care about is eliciting a response from Black Americans so that they can manipulate your energy. They are using the Haitian migrant thing to elicit an emotional response out of Black Americans, and they're eliciting that response out of Black Americans using propaganda to make you subconsciously feel like this is a racist issue towards you that you need to lead the fight against, right? And it's all using Masonic tactics. Now, I'm not a Mason. I've never been a Mason, but I tell you guys, I read everything, okay? I call myself the real bookworm for a reason. It's some things that I know. It's some things that I read that I just don't talk about. You understand what I'm saying? And what you have to understand is what they are doing is using classic Masonic tactics, and I'm going to show it to you, family. Now, again, I'm not a Mason, okay? But I read everything. What you see on the screen is Morals and Dogma of the ancient and accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry. Now, I just happen to have this book because I bought it at an estate sale. Now, I read this several years ago. And when I read it, I understood how they use propaganda to manipulate your energy. So I'm going to read a few key passages out of this to show you how people in power think. And you're going to see firsthand that this is what they have been doing to you the entire time. They manipulate your energy to get their goals accomplished. Because I'm going to tell you something. Whenever they do stuff like this, they elicit an emotional response out of Black Americans. Black Americans jump out there because that's just what we have been doing since we've been on this country. In this country, we've been fighting. We began to protest. We began to march. We began to speak out. Our great speakers and leaders, they began to take to the microphone. They began to say what's on their mind. We go to the polls. You understand what I'm saying? We march in the streets. We riot. We burn down buildings. Okay? We share things on social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. It all blows up because we get emotionally charged and we put all of our energy into fights that we feel are fights against racism. So they know if they can make you emotionally feel like this situation is about racism towards you, you will put your energy into it. And we always put our energy into things without having an agenda. If you put your energy into a situation and you don't even have an end goal, you don't even have an agenda, I guarantee you, every single time someone else is going to use your energy to get their goals and agendas accomplished. That's why right now you have people complaining about Black Lives Matter, saying people were manipulating funds, saying people were buying $1 million homes off of Black Lives Matter funds. You have people who start Black Lives Matter chapters. They get all of this donations because all of this energy has been pushed in that direction. And then when you really sit back, a couple of years go by, and you're like, wait a minute. What are the tangibles that we got from this worldwide movement? And somebody will tell you, oh, they passed this law, they passed that law, they did this, they did that. But really and truly, we never had a unified goal. Nobody can point to a 10-point plan that everybody that was involved with the Black Lives Matter movement agreed upon, and we all said that we are not going to stop hitting the streets until we get a check mark on all of these points, all of these 10 points associated with the agenda. I'm guilty of it. I went to several marches. You understand what I'm saying? I went to several marches. But what I realized, I was marching for a different reason than some of the people right next to me. But let's get into some of this, family. I want y'all to see what some of this say. And just to show you that this particular morals and dogma that I have, this is the lodge that it come from. Now, I'm not a Mason. I bought this at an estate sale, but I'm just showing you that this is legitimately what's being taught in some of these lodges. And this is just how a lot of people in power think, whether they word it like this or not. Let's get into it. On page 1 of Morals and Dogma, look at what it say, fam. It says, force, unregulated or ill-regulated, is not only wasted in the void like that of gunpowder burned in the open air and steam unconfined by science, but striking in the dark and its blows meeting only the air, they recoil and bruise itself. It is destruction and ruin. It is the volcano, the earthquake, the cyclone, not growth and progress. It is Polyphemus blinded, striking at random and falling headlong among the sharp rocks by the impetus of his own blows. The blind force of the people is a force that must be economized and also managed as the blind force of steam, lifting the ponderous iron's arms and turning the large wheels is made to bore and rifle the cannon and to weave the most delicate lace. It must be regulated by intellect. So when you look into what they're trying to talk about, the teachings that they are teaching, they have a concept of something called force and intellect. Force and intellect. Force is what get things done. Force is energy. Intellect is what guides that force, okay? If you want to build a house, you can look at it like force is the physical labor. You have to have physical labor to build a house. But in order to build a house, you need more than physical labor. You also need the intellect. You have to have the intellect to write the blueprint, to know what materials to get, what tools you need, and in what order must you go through the process to build a stable house. So you have to have the intellect controlling the force or the labor to get things accomplished. Now, anytime you get a group of people to move in one direction without a goal, that is blind force with no intellect, okay? And these people feel like they have the intellect and you are the force. So they do things to get you emotionally charged, right? They do things to get you emotionally charged. And then when you take on the fight without having an agenda, someone else who is represented by the intellect in this case, they will guide your force to achieve their goals. Okay, remember, force unregulated or ill-regulated is not only wasted in the void. Okay, it's only wasted. So if you go out there and you protest, right? If you go out there and you complain about an issue, right? If you go out there and you champion a fight, but you don't have a specifically outlined end game, guess what? Somebody else that sees your energy with no end game, they're going to slide in and then they're going to use your force to meet their ends. They're going to use your force to meet their ends. I'm going to tell you guys something. There's been times I done went out to marches, right? I done went out to protest. And my brother, I see him, the Minister of Defense, he in the chat. Man, the Minister of Defense, he started telling me something that I didn't notice at first. You'll see people, they'll be out at a protest, they'll be marching, they'll be holding signs, and they'll say, no justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. And they're putting energy out there. But while they're saying no justice, no peace, at the same time, the person leading the march is talking about we need to have a peaceful protest. How do you have a peaceful protest and your whole mantra is no justice, no peace? How the hell do you get to a peaceful protest if you're saying no justice, no peace? There should be no peaceful protest without the justice. That shows you right there that the person who has organized the protest, right, they are using your energy, your force for a totally different goal. You being played, you being manipulated. They're using you. They're using your voice. They're using your fire. They're using your energy. They're using your anger. They're using your rage. They're using you because they would not tell you to have a peaceful protest. And at the same time, you saying no justice, no peace. Obviously, you don't want no peace because you ain't got no justice. But the person who is represented by the intellect in this situation, the person who organized it, they want all the peace in the world because they saying peaceful protest. So they're not trying to get justice by any means necessary. What they want is your energy. They want you out there holding those signs, yelling at the top of your voice, ready to put in that work so that they can make a back deal. They can make a back deal with the mayor. They can make a back deal with the police chief. They can make a back deal with anybody and say, hey, look, man, I got these people, right? I got 100 people. I got 200 people. I got 500 people. They all at the march. And you out there at the march, you ready to put in that work, but you not knowing that this scumbag is using you. And so he making this back deal. He's shaking hands, and next thing you know, he got a new job in a new house. You understand what I'm saying? He got the bag because the person is like, okay, I see that you are controlling the force of the people. They're out here marching at your march. They're protesting at your protest. Then that individual has his own set of demands that the people in the protest don't have. But since he has manipulated the blind force of the people, he gets his agenda through. You understand what I'm saying? He gets his agenda through. Listen to what they say. Intellect is to the people and the people's force what the slender needle of the compass is to the ship. Its soul, always counseling the huge mass of wood and iron and always pointing to the north. It's a reason why people instinctively know, they instinctively know that you have to get the people behind you. Because if you don't get the people behind you, you don't have the force. You can't build a house without the labor. You can't have a McDonald's without labor. There will be no manager of McDonald's without labor. There will be no government without people to control. You feel me? That's what it is. You can't go to war without an army. I don't give a damn if you're a 5-star general. I don't give a damn if you're the president or commander-in-chief. If there is no force, if there is no people, nothing will ever get done. That's why we always say that, okay, if you're at a job and you want to get some stuff done, people understand, they go on strike because the people start realizing, hey, you know what? If we just stop doing what we're doing, then the people in the CEOs and the people on the board of directors, right? They can get nothing accomplished because they need the worker. They need the worker. The worker has the power because the worker is the force. But if the force doesn't have a clearly defined goal, if the people that's working at McDonald's don't have a McDouble that they want to make, you understand what I'm saying? If they don't have a chicken sandwich that they want to make, they're going to always make the McDouble and the chicken sandwich of the management team. That's just how it goes, family. And that's what they're doing with this Haitian immigrant thing. I'm not saying that people shouldn't assist the Haitian migrants. That's not what I'm saying. If you want to help them and assist them, you should. But you have to understand that propaganda is being used to make Black Americans lead the fight against what's going on at the border for a reason that we cannot yet see. They are just trying to garner an emotional response because somebody needs our energy to be a force to fuel their machine. That's what it's about. They don't care about no people at the border. I don't care who say it. I don't care who say it. Let's look at a little more of this Masonic thinking. And really, this is just how governments think. This is how it go, family. This is how it go. Let me see. All right, let's read this part. It says, it is because force is ill-regulated that revolutions prove failures. I'm going to run it back. It is because force is ill-regulated that revolutions prove failures. You want to know why you never get no tangibles? You want to know why that even if you turn out to go vote sometimes, even if you involve yourself in the political process, even if you march, even if you protest, you want to know why your revolution proved to be a failure? It is because the force is ill-regulated. The individuals who make up the force and who are the driving energy behind the force, they are following behind the symbolic intellect who are guiding them not to the ends that the revolutionary wants to see, but they are guiding you to the ends that they want. I guarantee you, Black Americans, if you lead the fight against what's going on with the Haitians at the border and you don't have a clearly defined end game, I guarantee you, whatever it is in your mind that you want to get accomplished is not going to happen. It's going to fail, and somebody else is going to use your energy to get what they want to accomplish. Really, it could be as simple as, think about this, family. They don't care about Haitians. It could be as simple as making sure Joe Biden don't get elected again. It could be as simple as that. That could be the tactic, just to slander Joe Biden and to slander Kamala Harris. You understand what I'm saying? That could be it. They put these images out there. They put this propaganda out there. They get you riled up. You start fighting and you start going off at the handle. And in your mind, you want to help the Haitians. But since you don't have a clearly defined goal, someone else who is represented in this instance by the intellect, they really just want to attack Joe Biden. They really just want to attack Kamala Harris. And then all of a sudden, it's not about the Haitians no more. Nobody is actually saving Haitians. Nobody is actually getting Haitians into the country. Nobody is actually getting aid to the Haitians. All it comes down to is a slander fest against Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And you're like, wait a minute. I wanted to help the Haitians. How did my energy end up getting manipulated to attack Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? Make it make sense, family. Make it make sense, family. This is why. This is why they use this against you over and over and over again. And I see it all the time. All the time. The media manipulates us all the time. All the time. And why? Because you can't build a house without labor. You can't build a house without labor. Again, it is because force is ill-regulated that revolutions prove failures. Don't jump out the window, man. Even if you want to help them Haitians, do not jump out the window, man. I can't stress that enough. It's something else going on here. Do you really think ABC News, Fox News, CNN, the top people at the Border Patrol Agency, do you really think they care about them Haitians, family? Think about it. So if you know in your heart that they don't care about them Haitians, why are they pushing this? Why are they putting this in your face? Why are they talking about Haitians being whipped? Why do they keep saying that? Why are they now associating the Haitians at the border with Black Lives Matter? Why are they putting Black American politicians out now as the face of speaking out against that? Why? Why? Because they're using the propaganda to elicit an emotional response out of Black Americans and make Black Americans equate what is going on at the border with them. They want that same energy. The Shamar Arbery, the Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Emmett Till, cops shooting you down. Now, all of those are real issues, but someone is trying to manipulate you into equating the two. That's an immigration issue on the border, and it should be dealt with as such. And if there is an immigration issue at the border, then America needs to deal with the immigration issue at the border. You don't have to get out there holding signs, marching, protesting. You don't need to do all of that. And if you want to help, you need to help with another route, because that's what they're trying to get you to do, so that they can manipulate your energy to get their goals accomplished. And you're going to see, if you fall for the trap, down the line, you will have no tangibles. The Haitians will still have no help. Majority of them will still get deported back to where they came from, because these people don't care about the Haitians. They care about manipulating you. Let's go a little further. Look what they say. The onward march of the human race requires that the heights around it should blaze with noble and enduring lessons of courage. Deeds of daring dazzle history and form one class of the guiding lights of man. They are the stars and coruscations from that great sea of electricity, the force inherent in the people to strive, to brave all risks, to perish, to persevere, to be true to oneself, to grapple body to body with destiny, to surprise defeat by the little terror it inspires, now to confront unrighteous power, now to defy intoxicated triumph. These are the examples that the nations need and the light that electrifies them. This is why they always try to manipulate the energy of the Black American. It's the whole people like to root for the underdog. It just is what it is. If Floyd Mayweather is out there and he's about to have a boxing match with somebody, right? If he's about to have a boxing match with somebody, then people are going to root for the underdog, because we like to see the underdog win. That's why when you watch movies and you see TV and the hero always has to go through something, the hero is always broken down to the point to where it looks like they're not going to win, then they triumph. So when you have a scenario when an underdog triumphs, it electrifies people when they see that, because most people want better for themselves. So when they see somebody coming from a lowly state to a high state, in their mind, they equate that with themselves being able to do better. So they always want to manipulate your energy, because when they manipulate your energy, they get a greater return. I just see a couple of comments. Let me read a couple of comments real quick. The People's Defense Ministry says, nobody said a word until they all jointly rolled out the PR Haitian BS. Exactly, bro. None of these people in power was saying anything like this. And again, remember my words. I'm not saying that people shouldn't help the Haitians if they want to help the Haitians. I'm saying don't let these people manipulate you like they give a damn. They don't give a damn. They trying to trick you, and you got to see the trick. Another comment, he goes on to say, even they so-called black media, so you're absolutely correct. Plus, the Haitians have an entire country. They must quickly regroup and fix their homeland. I'm absolutely for the brave Haitian people, but they must not lose their own land to be slaves here. Exactly, Minister of Defense. Exactly, Minister of Defense. They got a whole country, bro. They got a whole country. You feel me? And I hate to say it, but damn, bro, they got a rich history of fighting and winning. They soldiers. They been soldiers. You understand what I'm saying? They been soldiers. Put this energy into fixing the problems. Fix this energy. Don't just abandon. But what are you just going to abandon Haiti for? You understand what I'm saying? And I heard Tariq Nasheed say a lot of the ones that's at the border right now, They left like 10 years ago. And they've been living in various South American countries. You understand what I'm saying? And the point is, if Black Americans want to help them, they can help them. But it's not, listen, we have enough fights right here in America. We can't fight everybody damn fight. You can't fight everybody fight. And you can't let anybody trick you into fighting everybody fight, man. Like I say, okay, they at that border, right? I mean, listen to me, family. It's 14,000 of them. Now, I'm not saying they should do nothing crazy, but it's 14,000 of them. If you feel like that this man just whipped, if this man whipped you, if this man on this horse really was out here whipping you, you should have done something about it when you stand up for yourself. I guarantee you, man. I guarantee you, if I'm walking down that street and a cop run up on me with a whip and he hit me with a whip, I don't care what come after that. I'm gonna deal with it. I'm gonna deal with it. That what they need to do is, if they've been whipped and beat, they need to deal with it. And if it's something going on in their country, they need to deal with it, because that's what we do right here. Whenever we face racism, whenever we face injustice, we deal with it. We man up and we deal with it. And I'm not saying people can't help the Haitians, but what I am saying is Black Americans should not be the face of the fight, because they manipulating you. I want you to understand. Get that through your mind, man. Get that through your head. They are manipulating you. They're using your force, your energy to get their goals accomplished. It just is what it is. Look at what they go on to say. There are immense forces in the great caverns of evil beneath society, in the hideous degradation, squalor, wretchedness, and destitution, vices and crimes that reek and simmer in the darkness, in that populace below the people of great cities. Their disinterestedness vanishes. Everyone howls, searches, gropes, and gnaws for himself. Ideas are ignored, and of progress there is no thought. The populace has two mothers, both of them stepmothers, ignorance and misery. One is their only guide. For the appetite alone, they crave satisfaction. What is this guy talking about? He's talking about this is what they do. They will put people in positions of poverty, right? They'll put people in positions where they have want, okay? Because the natural human instinct is to survive. You want to survive. You will always try to survive. So what they're going to do, they're going to always keep a group of people in a constant state of survival mode. Now, when you have a group of people who are in a constant state of survival mode, it's hard for them to really think and plan things through. It's hard to have higher thoughts, higher elevated thoughts, when all you can think about is your next meal. Because think about it. I don't want to think about physics and chemistry and geometry if I have no food in the icebox. It just doesn't work like that, right? And so what they want is they want a force that does not or cannot think for itself, so they can do the thinking for you. So they keep people in poverty, right? Then they elicit emotions out of the people that are in poverty. Those people in poverty bubble up, they lash out. That lashing out is energy, it's force, okay? It's force. Nothing gets done in the human civilization without human energy. No house gets built without a labor force. So these people in poverty get emotionally charged. They begin to lash out. They begin to push energy out into the universe. And since they have not themselves really thought the thing through, the person that put them in poverty has thought things through, and all they do is it's like building a dam. They just build certain dams and they just redirect your energy to get what they want accomplished. They wanted to get Joe Biden in. What did they do? They made everybody look at Trump as a racist. They elicited an emotional response out of people. Oh, Donald Trump is a racist. Donald Trump is a white supremacist. Donald Trump is KKK. The people in the Confederates, they love Donald Trump. Donald Trump is this. Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. And they said all of this racist stuff. Really? They said all of this racist stuff when really and truly they didn't give a damn about whether or not Donald Trump was racist. They wanted you to give a damn whether or not Donald Trump was racist so that you would go out and vote for the other guy. That's all it was about. The whole Donald Trump is racist is so Joe Biden could win. But you thought and I thought that, okay, we're fighting racism in the form of Donald Trump. But you weren't fighting racism in the form of Donald Trump. You were championing Joe Biden. That's how it worked. The best manipulation is the manipulation that you don't see. The best propaganda is the propaganda that happens subconsciously, family. Subconsciously. Joe Biden is in. I'm going to ask y'all something. Now that Joe Biden is in, is racism gone? Is white supremacy gone? Is the KKK gone? Of course you have to say no, because right now you're complaining about what's going on at the border in Haiti. So I thought getting rid of Donald Trump would get rid of racism. I thought getting rid of Trump would get rid of white supremacy. Right? No, it was never about racism with Trump. It was never about that. It was about manipulating your force to get you to the polls and to market for them, right? Because any debate that an individual had about Trump, all you're doing is no publicity is bad publicity. They just wanted you to repeat the talking points. Now individuals are doing the same thing with this Haiti thing. And I don't know. I don't have any inside information about why the propaganda is manipulating us. I don't know. But I know it's propaganda. I know it's manipulation. And I know they don't give a damn about Haitians. So why are they acting like they give a damn about Haitians? That's what you got to ask yourself, family. So I promise you, if Black Americans champion the fight against what's going on with Haitians at the border, they're going to redirect your energy. And next thing you know, there's going to be a new crime bill that Congress just passed. Why? Why to see what I tell you? Let's go a little further because we're talking about Masonry too. We're in the book of Morals and Dogma. I'm showing you what these Masons teach, and I'm showing you how this actually applies to government. This is really just how it goes with anybody. Like me. If I want to start a movement, I have to get people behind me because you need the force. That's a fact of reality. You can't build a house without labor. You can't run a business without workers. That's a fact of reality. Now, the people that understand that fact of reality, they can manipulate it. And the people who don't understand that fact of reality, they get manipulated. And so all I'm trying to do is put you up on game. Listen to some of this. Yet it is this very force of the people, this titanic power of the giants that builds the fortifications of tyrants and is embodied in their armies. It is this very force of the people, this titanic power of the giants that builds the fortifications of tyrants. Every tyrant gets rich off the back of the people. It's just what they do. Let's go down a little further. I'm not going to read that whole thing. Listen, it is the force of the people that sustains all these despotisms and bases as well as the best. That force acts through armies, and these oftener enslave than liberate. Okay? Despotism there applies the rule. Force is the mace of steel at the saddle bow of the knight or of the bishop in armor. So anybody in charge, the only way that they can get things done is to manipulate the force of the people. Right? It's the same concept as slavery, bro. Think about it. They used the free labor. The free labor was the force. They manipulated the force of that human cargo, the human chattel, an individual who had a plan, the goddamn slave master and later on the American government. They had the plan. The people were the force. The slave didn't have an end goal for what they were going to do with the cotton they were producing. They were just a force to produce it. And then someone else manipulated that force to build an empire. That's how it works. That's how it works, okay? So all they're doing with this Haitian thing is they're using propaganda to manipulate you, to put your energy. That all they want is your energy. That's all they care about. They want your energy. They want you to talk about it. They want you outraged. I guarantee if they could get a few marches out of this, a few protests out of this, oh man, they'll be, oh boy, I don't even want to say nothing vulgar, but they will be extremely happy if we went out there and we started protesting and carrying signs and marching and all of that. Because you know what they're going to do, family? These same people in power, you know that they don't give a damn about the Haitians, right? But it's those people in those government positions, they sign the legislation. You don't sign no legislation. You don't even know what the legislation is on immigration in the books right now. Don't fool yourself. Don't tell me about no immigration at the border and you don't even know the legislation that's on the books. You being played. So what they're going to do is they're going to get Black Americans. This is what they want. They want to get Black Americans to get riled up, put our energy into this thing, and then those people who don't give a damn about us, don't give a damn about the Haitians, they're going to present legislation that has nothing to do with helping you, that has nothing to do with helping the Haitians, and the other powers that be, they're going to say, okay, we just need to do something with this human force that is yelling, screaming, and ready to burn some shit down, so let's sign this bill. Then they're going to sign a bill that has nothing to do with you, that has nothing to do with the Haitians. Then they're all going to come out and then they're going to tell you, okay, you can all go home. We've got the legislation signed. We've solved the problem. Whole time, Haitians still getting whipped. Haitians still getting deported. The wall still getting built and nothing happened. And we have been manipulated. That's how it's going to go. Shout out to Leonard de Judah. Already 100. The People's Defense Ministry says they, CIA, assassinated the Haitian president a few months ago along with Colombian help. I'll be goddamn. I didn't know that. See what I'm saying? I didn't even know that. How in the hell is the CIA going to assassinate the Haitian president a few months ago with the help of Colombia, and now these people want to make you believe that they give a damn about Haitians? Come on, bro. See the game, bro. If Haiti is destabilized, the same people that's trying to get you to react, they the people who destabilized it. Man, we got to sit down. We got to slow down. We got to think this thing through. Look what it goes on to say, man. I'm showing you how these people think. Just straight out of Morals and Dogma. I'm not a Mason. I've never been a Mason. But I read everything. So it's hard to get something over on me. Sometimes I'll play like I don't know what's up. I'll pretend like I don't know what's up. But damn it, you ain't fooling me. Look what they go on to say. Force is the mace of steel at the saddle bow of the knight or of the bishop in armor. Passive obedience by force supports thrones and oligarchies, Spanish kings and Venetian senates. Might in an army wielded by tyranny is the enormous sum total of utter weakness. And so humanity wages war against humanity in despite of humanity. That's crazy. Think about that, rewind that, listen to that. They go on to say in Morals and Dogma, so a people willingly submits to despotism and its workmen submit to be despised and its soldiers to be whipped. Therefore, it is that battles lost by a nation are often progress attained. Less glory is more liberty. When the drum is silent, reason sometimes speaks. Tyrants use the force of the people to chain and subjugate. That is, and yoke the people. Then they plow with them as men do with oxen yoke. They use the force of the people to enslave the people, right? You march, you protest with no clear goal, then they sign legislation to screw you over. Then when they screw you over, when they take more rights away from you, when they take your ability to vote, they take your ability to bear arms, they take your ability to live in certain areas, they take your ability to work in certain places, right? Then what do? You become the oxen. They put the goddamn reins on your head, and then they ride you like an ox off into the sunset, because they know that nothing can be accomplished without force. We talking about Haitian migrants, Black Americans, propaganda, and Masonry. The government is using propaganda to manipulate Black Americans to respond to the Haitian migrant situation in a way that will not help the Haitians, in a way that will not help Black Americans, but in a way that will help the people who don't give a damn about Haitians and don't give a damn about Black Americans. They just think we're too stupid to realize what's going on because it's worked for so long. He goes on to say, let's look at that last. The military power, not subordinate to the civil power, again, the hammer or mace of force, independent of the rule, is an armed tyranny, born full grown as Athens, sprung from the brain of Zeus. It spawns a dynasty and begins with Caesar to rot into I cut that page off. And look, I don't want to I've already been on it kind of long, so I'm finna start trying to wrap it up. This is the last thing that I want to read. I want to focus on this last paragraph. We're gonna break down a few more things, and then we're gonna get on up out of here. The force of the people cannot, by its unrestrained and fitful action, maintain and continue in action and existence of free government once created. That force must be limited, restrained, conveyed by distribution into different channels and by roundabout courses to outlets whence it is to issue as the law, action, and decision of the state, as the wise old Egyptian kings conveyed in different channels. So what they are teaching in morals and dogma is how to control people and how to get your goals accomplished by controlling people. So they say that first what you have to do, you have to get the force moving in a certain direction. Now, once you get that force moving in a certain direction, and if it is unrestrained, right, then it's just going to tear down the entire government. If you have 1,000 people marching and rioting, if you let them do that forever, they will burn down the whole society. So once that force has been created, you have to create dams like in a river to redirect pieces of the force so that you still have 100% of the energy, but you don't have 100% of the energy coagulated in one area. So think about if you have, let's say you have 10,000 people marching. If you have 10,000 people marching in one area, they're going to tear some shit up if you don't get them out the way. So what they're going to do is they're going to create, okay, let's take those 10,000 people. We're going to redirect 1,000 over here, 1,000 over here, 1,000 over here, 1,000 over here, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the powers that be still have 10,000 people worth of force. But since they have it in groups of 1,000 apiece, they can still more easily control it, and that force won't destroy the city. And that's why sometimes you will see what they'll do is different organizations will start popping up. And then those different organizations that pop up, they'll all act like they have the same goal in mind. You can have 1 million people that chant Black Lives Matter. So what they're going to do is they're going to, okay, we're going to have this Black Lives Matter chapter over here. We're going to have this Black Lives Matter chapter over there. Then we're going to start another organization. I don't know, the Freesman organization. We're going to have that over there. So some of these people that feel like Black Lives Matter won't be coagulated with the other 10,000 Black Lives Matter or the other 1 million Black Lives Matter. They'll be over here in this Freedman organization. Then they'll start another organization over here, and then they'll divert some of those people into that organization. Right? That's how it goes. It's like a religion. It's like denominations in a religion. That's all it is. And that's what they're going to do. So what you have to realize is the government needs your energy to survive, but they don't want your energy to destroy the government. So they're going to make you emotionally charged with this Haitian thing, with the propaganda. They want to get your force riled up, and once your force is riled up, they're going to start breaking your force. Okay, you guys, y'all go with the NAACP. Y'all go with Black Lives Matter. NAACP, fake organization. But anyway, y'all go with the Rainbow Push Coalition. Y'all go over here with Al Sharpton. You go over here with your local minister. You go over here and you go over here with the Muslims, the Black Muslims, and they play us. They play us. Oh, let me see. We got another comment. He say the acting prime minister of Haiti was caught by wiretaps on the phone with the CIA killers. Offshore resources can always be stolen from a weak nation. You see what I'm saying? See, and that's another thing. This whole thing could be 3-card Monty. Well, let's focus on the Haitian migrants at the border, and let's get Black Americans all riled up so the whole world is looking at what's going on at the border, because the force of Black Americans is making the whole world tune in. All alone, you just murdered the Haitian president. So now you got the CIA over there, and now what you really doing, you extrapolating resources. Hey, you extrapolating resources, and you manipulating the government so you can further manipulate the resources. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Hey, Minister of Defense, you may have just cracked the code, fam. You may have just cracked the code, fam. They might be trying to make us focus all of our energy on the Haitians at the border, because remember, when the underdog fights, everybody roots for the underdog. So if the Black American, the underdog in America, champions the fight for the Haitians at the border, the whole world will look. Pay attention to the news headlines. You have people in other countries now looking, because whenever the Black American complains about racism in America, they all tune in. Now everybody's tuning in, and they're like, oh, what's going on at the border? What's going on at the border? Black Americans at the border. The force is focused on the border. All along, you just whacked the president of Haiti, so I know you over there with your hands in the cookie jar, and nobody is looking at your hand in the goddamn cookie jar. Haitian migrants, Black Americans, propaganda, and Masonry. I don't know it yet, but the Minister of Defense might have just cracked the goddamn code. He say, might the troops soon be going to help liberate some Haiti? Hey, I be seeing these memes where they'll say like it'll be an eagle, right? It'll be a bald eagle, the symbol of America. And somebody will say something like, oh, they just found oil in some random country that nobody ever heard of. Then the eagle is like, what? It sounds like that random country needs some freedom, right? They need some democracy. You understand what I'm saying? Giving the impression that wherever there's resources, the American government will go to get the resources. And bro, fam, you may have just cracked the code, bro, because I don't know what they're doing, but I know they're trying to trick us. This really they may be doing something in Haiti, and they're trying to divert our attention like the magician. Don't watch my left hand, watch my right hand. Don't watch my left hand, watch my right hand. God damn. You may have just cracked the code, man. You may have just cracked the code. So as I wrap this thing up, Haitian migrants, Black Americans, propaganda, and Masonry. Family, I want to tell you something. The American government, none of those politicians, hear me good. None of those politicians care about these images. ABC don't care. NBC don't care. CNN don't care. Fox News don't care. The Black Caucus don't care. The president don't care. The vice president don't care. The Supreme Court don't care. The Senate don't care. They just don't care, okay? Get that through your mind. They don't care. So why are they showing this to you? And why are they trying to make you view it as if this is Ahmaud Arbery, Emmett Till all over again? Why are they doing that? Because subconsciously, they want you to fight this as if you're fighting racism in America with Black Americans being gunned down. And the minute they get you, Black American, to champion the fight, the whole world eyes will be on it because people like to root for the underdog. And once the whole world's eyes is on it because of the force that you put into it, I guarantee you the Haitians won't get help, Black Americans won't get help, but some other underhanded scheme will take flight and get funding. And the Minister of Defense in the chat, he may have just cracked the code. He says that a couple of months ago, the Haitian president was assassinated by the Colombians, I guess some Haitians, and the CIA. So you don't assassinate a president without having a play. You don't just assassinate a president and go home. You do that for a reason. You do that for a reason, family. That's not the end. That's not like the last thing you do. You understand? It's like the first thing you do. You assassinate the president, and then you work your way in and you accomplish a real goal. So all of this could be a distraction from that. And this could be a distraction from multiple things. I play chess. You put your pieces on the board. You line your pieces up on the board before you make your move. And when you make your move in such a way to where you control how your opponent moves so you can checkmate them. They knew if they put these images out there, they knew how the majority of Black Americans would respond. They were banking on that. They had money on it, family. They had money on it. And so since we know that, we shouldn't respond how they want us to respond. And like I gotta say, family, if an individual wants to help the Haitians, go ahead and help them. I have no problem with that. But this is not a fight that should be championed by Black Americans until we fully understand what's going on and why they want us to champion it. Straight up. Plain and simple, man. Plain and simple. So, Haitian migrants, Black Americans, propaganda, and Masonry. This your brother, Matthew Daniels, a.k.a. I'm Pooh, a.k.a. The Chosen Few, a.k.a. The Real Bookworm. I'm not a bookworm, world. I'm the real bookworm. Make sure you get it right. And as always, may your name live on forever, and may your memory never die. Hotel, cheers to that. Hey, make sure you guys share this video, leave some comments if you're seeing this later. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to disagree with my assessment, doesn't matter to me. I'm just trying to put some game out there, family. We have to start thinking before we act because we are the force. We're the energy that get things accomplished. And if we don't have a clearly defined goal, we will always be manipulated into solving other people's problems. Y'all have a good day. I'm Pooh, out.